All right, good afternoon and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing Career College Exposition webinar series. My name is Lee Doubleday and I'm with the Imagine America Foundation. I'm excited about today's topic, the benefits of career and technical schools and essential skilled trade careers, sponsored by Tulsa Welding School. Tulsa Welding School has 3 locations, one in Houston, Texas, one in Jacksonville, Florida, and one in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa Welding School is also a 20-year sponsor of the Imagine America Scholarship and Award programs, having provided admissions-based financial aid to more than 5,000 Imagine America students. Without taking valuable time from our presenter today, let me refer any and all inquiries about the Imagine America Foundation, our scholarship programs, and how your students can apply for a scholarship through our foundation to go to Tulsa Welding School to our website, which is www.imagine-america.org. Since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains a leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. However, our country faces a serious shortage in certified technicians. We hear from employers in virtually all sections of the country desperately looking for qualified employees, so we need to do more. We feel that even more now than ever. Our partner in today's presentation, like I mentioned earlier, is Tulsa Welding School, and joining us today to discuss in detail the looming technician shortage and how Tulsa Welding School is helping meet this need is Ben Clemens. Ben is the director of high school admissions and has been working with high schools for over 6 years now, so you're in good hands. But before turning the program over to Ben, let me outline today's agenda. Today's session of Imagine America Radio will be 30 minutes maximum, with question and answers at the end of the presentation. Once we finish these remarks, we'll move directly into today's presentation, but all participants can submit questions while the presentation is in session via the chat feature or the Q&A feature in this Zoom meeting. So if you have questions while Ben is presenting, please feel free to type them in there and we will get to them at the end of the presentation. We'll have a hard close at 2:30 p.m. Hopefully we'll get out a little earlier than that. We did it earlier this morning, so we should be in good shape. But without taking any more time out of today's presentation, let me turn today's session over to Ben. Ben, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys tuning in for this. I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but I'm hopefully going to give you some good insight on where the industry is right now, as well as us at Tulsa Welding School. Like was said, my name is Ben Clemens. I'm the National Director of Admissions for Tulsa Welding School. I have been in the recruiting business for both the military and post-secondary education for over 23 years. Young people are my passion. You know, as you can see in my little bio there, I have some of my own. And I like to treat everyone's kids like I would my own kids, and I want them to see them become successful. And in the changing environment that we're in now, I feel like that we have a lot of good opportunities that can help young people achieve their goals and become productive members of society. All right, our agenda. We're going to talk about skilled trades today, demand and essential workers. We're going to talk about current opportunities for graduating students and Tulsa Welding School and how we can help your students. Regional demand, the current employment and increased demand through 2026 for welding, pipe fitting, and HVAC and electrical careers in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and Alabama are important to you and your students. Now, how Tulsa Welding School factors into that, our school was founded in 1949. We're over 70 years old. We've been at this a very long time. We don't plan on going anywhere. We're not a fly-by-night school, and we're involved in our students' careers both before, during, and after they graduate from school. As you can see in this graphic, employment numbers are they're growing every day. Even in the pandemic, we're one of the only industries right now in the trade industries that are growing, even though we've been in the middle of a pandemic for a year now. So this is going to be something great for your students. Current employment and increased demand through 2026 for welding, pipe fitting, HVAC, electrical careers in Florida, Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama are important to your students. There's 14% growth projected for these industries combined in the regions over this time piece. And sometimes people say essential workers. I know I see it on the news a lot, and you want to ask yourself, what is an essential worker? Well, essential workers are people like cybersecurity, infrastructure security agencies. Um, they provide guidance on how jurisdictions and critical infrastructure owners can use their guidance to assist and prioritize the ability of essential workers to work safely while supporting ongoing infrastructure operations across the nation. Some of these workers support healthcare, law enforcement, other first responders, food, agriculture, water, wastewater, commercial facilities. I mean, you can see these things as they're popping up. These are industries all across the country, not just in our region, but all across the country that are always up and running. They're always going to be, regardless of the current climate, the economy, the job market, these industries are going to continue to grow. Every essential worker and all of those jobs that listed are supported by welders, pipe fitters, HVAC technicians, and electricians. So these are the direct people that Tulsa Welding School trains. Which is why during the pandemic, over 510, well, it should be, it's probably a little more than that now, but 510 of our graduates between April and October were employed during one of the worst unemployment periods in U.S. history. I mean, if everyone remembers, things dropped off significantly when we started shutting everything down in April. And what we found is our students kept getting jobs, and they kept getting jobs at a high rate, and then it actually increased as this thing went on. So essential workers, pipe fitters, welders, electricians, those things aren't going away. Estimated over 430,000 welders between now and 2028. 560,000 pipe fitters, 410,000 HVAC and refrigeration techs, and 785,000 electricians will be needed nationally by 2028. Now, you might ask yourself, why would I want to send somebody to Jacksonville, Florida, to Tulsa Welding School, when we may or may not have those things in our local tech schools, in our local community colleges? Well, here are a few reasons. There's no unrelated courses when you go to a dedicated trade school like Tulsa Welding School. What we learn is directly related to the selected career field. I tell students when they come to their first day of school, we teach welding here. If they're in a welding program or whatever, depending on which program it is, that's what we teach. We teach MIG, TIG, stick, flux core, high frequency TIG, downhill pipe welding in the welding course. We don't teach math, science, English, social studies, history, grammar, or Shakespeare. Those things are important, and I myself love Shakespeare, but that's not what we teach at Tulsa Welding School. At the welding school, we teach welding. At the electrical school, we teach electrical, refrigeration. The shorter length of curriculum, whereas it would take you 4 to 6 years to get a bachelor's degree, our program is 7 months long. An additional 3 months if you want to be a pipe fitter. So in less than a year, you're out working in your industry, making a living. Career assistance during school and after graduation for those in good standing. So our students get something that's pretty unique to us, is we not only help them get a job while they're in school and when they graduate, but that's a service that we do for the rest of their life. Any student that's in good standing, meaning they don't owe us a bunch of money or they're not in default with their student loans, can come back to the school at any time or call the school, and we'll help them get their resume together. We'll help them find work. If they're interested in a particular company, we can make contact with that company for them. It's an awesome program. Student body consists of students with related interests. We only teach a few things at Tulsa Welding School, and we don't teach a wide variety of other things. It's just what it is. So if welding students are going to be with welding students, heating and air students and electrical students are going to be with heating and air and electrical students. So they have a lot in common. It creates a good positive environment at the school. Practical hands-on training. Students will learn by doing. They start welding on the second day of their professional welding program. They're going to do safety the first day, which, you always have to do a safety class. The next day they're out welding. We go to school 5 days a week, 5 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and only one day of that time is dedicated to classroom. The rest of it is hands-on, performance-oriented training. We also offer tuition-free graduate retraining. Students that graduate from Tulsa Welding School have lifetime retraining. They can come back to the school and brush up on their skills or get help for a weld test or if they just need to go over something else, we can assign them an instructor. They can use our materials, and it's at no cost to them whatsoever. And this is something that, as long as they're in good standing, they can do for the rest of their lives. 82% overall employment rate for TWS Jacksonville. That's where we were at the last reporting time. You see the statement at the bottom. And if you've been around this industry, and I know you guys are educators or work in education, you know that is a huge number. Some schools don't track their job placement rate and their employment rate. Some schools are mandated they do it. I think the minimum standard is like 70%, 69%, and we're always over 80%. We have an in-house goal to be plus over 90%, which is where we're always trying to achieve. But as you see, it's over 82% right now. Facts about Tulsa Welding School. Again, we were founded in 1949, and we're the largest welding school in the United States. We're part of a nationally recognized network of career schools, specializes in welding, pipe fitting, HVAC, and refrigeration and electrical applications, highly regarded in the educational business and industry service for over 60 years, tens of thousands of graduates successfully trained in their chosen career fields. And Tulsa Welding School is a fully accredited school by the Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges, or the ACCSC. TWS participates in federal student loan program. You can, with rare exception, any federal or any student loan program or any funding applications that apply to regular colleges also apply to us, as we're a fully accredited school. Financial aid, financial assistance programs. We understand that tuition costs are huge, deciding factor in students and parents. TWS offers assistance throughout the tuition planning process to help ensure all financial aid and scholarship options are explored, such as federal grants, scholarships, federal student loans, CARES Act, HEERF fund, military family benefits, agency funding programs such as Native American funding, programs like Native American funding programs, and programs such as workforce. Again, we're a fully accredited school. We accept all forms of financial aid. Quality training. All of our instructors are industry experienced, individually trained in our teaching techniques. All of our equipment is comparable to what you use on the job. The stuff you use in the classroom and the stuff you use in our labs are the same stuff that you're going to be using when you graduate and go to work. All of our manuals are published especially for our curriculum and updated continually. We get with industry leaders and find out what our students need to be able to go to work for them, and that's what we teach and train on. Excuse me. And I know that's really quick, but you know what we said in the beginning is we don't teach a lot of different things here. We focus on what we do well, and we focus on making sure that our students, when they graduate, are ready to go to work and make a living and be productive members of society. I thank you for your time. This is my contact information right at the bottom. Feel free to reach out to me directly through email or through phone calls. I would love to talk to you, especially if you need someone in your area to come out and speak to your students. I can be the point of contact that can arrange that for you.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Ben. We are now going to start the Q&A portion of our presentation. I'm also going to throw up a poll question for those who would like more information about upcoming events for your seniors. Please indicate so on the poll so we can send you an email with more information about upcoming events with Tulsa Welding School for your seniors. It does look like we have a question that came in, Ben. This person wants to know if there are GPA requirements in order to attend Tulsa Welding School.
No, as a matter of fact, we don't require, all we require is that you graduate from high school with a regular traditional high school diploma.
Gotcha. Okay, so no SAT or ACT scores needed either.
No SATs, no ACTs, no Wonderlic test, just a high school diploma.
And you do meet with the student, interview the student. You want to make sure that they're a good fit for you and that you're a good fit for them. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Each and every student that attends Tulsa Welding School has to go through an interview process. This is where we're not like other schools where you can go online and just apply to the school. You have to do a face-to-face interview with the high school admissions rep. They come out to speak with the family, the student, and any parties involved. Go over in depth the program and what it entails, how to fund the program, and we talk about housing and things of that nature during the presentation.
Yeah, that was a so that's a good point because and I'm glad you brought up housing because let's say I called into this presentation and my high school's not right outside Jacksonville. It's pretty common for students to relocate or to come down to Jacksonville, maybe from Georgia or even as far up as South Carolina, North Carolina, to attend your institution. Am I right? And what kind of housing situation do you have for students?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we get students from Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, all coming down to Jacksonville. So we work with a company called EDU Rent or EduRent, and you can see them you can go to their website at edurent.com, and they pretty much provide our housing needs. Some people decide to go out on their own and get their own apartment, but what EduRent does is they contract with apartments within a 5-mile radius of the campus, and they fill those vacancies and they help set everything up for the students. So they're a great ally or a great partner for us in getting students to school.
That's great. And I'm assuming that EduRent also works pretty hard to make sure that the students are living with other students. Am I right?
Yes, that's the only way it works. All students that stay in apartments that are found or that are leased through EduRent, they're all Tulsa Welding School students.
That's good. Yeah, because they can kind of be on the same page as far as, they're both in similar situations. Okay, cool. All right. So a couple of house cleaning items now. We have, just want to let you know, I've recorded this session. I will be sending it out to you tomorrow so you can forward it to any of your students or any other faculty or staff that may be interested in hearing from Tulsa Welding School. There is a quick survey when you leave this presentation. It's about 4 questions long. If you wouldn't mind answering that for us, just really gives us good feedback on, was there anything we missed or that you would have liked to know more about? It also gives you a chance to indicate whether or not you would like someone from Tulsa Welding School to come up and speak to your students or to do it virtually so that they can accommodate that. But before closing, I just want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules today. I know there are many things pulling your time these days, especially with COVID-19. So really appreciate it. I also want to thank Ben for sharing with us today's presentation and encourage each and every one of you to contact him directly with any future questions. I will include his contact information in the email with the recording that I send to you tomorrow. But on behalf of the Imagine America Foundation, Ben and myself, I want to thank you and goodbye.